His passion is to transform the education system in the country.
And that passion was fully evident as Union HRD Minister Kapil Sibal addressed the Mail Today Education Conclave in the national capital.
While an audience comprising the country's best academicians and educationists heard in rapt attention as the Union Minister spelled out his vision.
Well, first he listed the challenges and then he spoke about the ideas to resolve those challenges.
Well, Sibal says India has just a 10 to 12-year window to get its act together.
And his greatest challenge is to get the opposition to realize this and also support him in his mission.
Two things are fundamental for the progress of this country, and Arun rightly said, education and health. In the absence of these two, this country, unless it fixes these fundamentals, will not be able to move forward. And remember, the difference between the developed world and the developing world is only one. It's not the GDP. It's not the $14 trillion economy of the United States of America. It's the number of students who go to university within the age group of 18 to 24.
Speaking at the Mail Today Education Conclave on Thursday, the Union HRD Minister spelt out the spectre of having 180 million without a college education in India. A disaster waiting to happen if India is unable to quickly create more infrastructure for education. And he again proved he is a man of ideas.
So you must give this sector infrastructure status. Because if roads are infrastructure, I don't see how education is not. Education perhaps is far more important. It is the infrastructure of our country. In the absence of this infrastructure, we're not going to reach anywhere. So that institutions to be set up can borrow from the banks long term, pay back long term in 20-25 years at low rates of interest.
But Sibal is also conscious of the kind of private sector he wants in education.
At the moment, the private sector that is involved in education, I'm sorry to say, are the sons, relatives, daughters, daughter-in-law, sons-in-law, mother-in-law of politicians, mostly. Right? That's the reality. And then when the seats go down or there's a problem, then we get political pressure. Look, do this, do that. It's impossible. So we need to actually de-link education from government and politics.
In this context, he spoke of the bill that would provide mandatory accreditation to educational institutions in the public and private sector. Sibal is not short of ideas, but he is worried that political opposition is throttling his initiatives.
After I introduced the bill in Parliament, it took 2.5 years, Arun, believe it or not, for the standing committee to deal with the bill. Government prepared it in 1 year. The standing committee took 2.5 years to deal with the bill. You know, I decided I will meet every leader in the firmament, political firmament of this country. And despite the fact that the standing committee cleared everything, that I will still meet them. So I met all the leaders that you can think of. Last week, a week before last, the bill came up for passing. The first thing that happened in the House was it was opposed as being unconstitutional. I read out the finding of the standing committee to the distinguished member who opposed it, of the opposition, and I said, this is what the standing committee says, that it's fully constitutional. He says, who bothers about the standing committee? You're in the House today. What do we do? And then people say there is paralysis in government.
Sibal is not giving up. His other focus area is skill upgradation.
The real problems of India will be solved through foreign direct investment in skills. Because not only does India need those skills, but the global community needs skills. And because the economy is going global, what you need is global skills. So if you actually invest in an institution in India and provide global skills, that student can get employed either in India or in Canada or in Europe, as the case may be. But for that you need the Foreign Education Providers Act to come in. Because there are enormous opportunities. Now, if you oppose it on the ground that, look, foreign universities will come in and therefore we don't want foreign universities, you're actually stopping opportunities for Indian youth to acquire skills, not only for getting jobs in India, but in the rest of the world.
Obviously, Kapil Sibal's problem is not incubating ideas. His challenge is to see them get executed through the maze of political opposition.